Up where we left off last time. Uh, well, first, some technical aspects out of the way. First part, kind of garbage quality-wise. I think it was streaming at like 540p, and it was stuttery and laggy and generally pretty bad. But at least the audio went through, so you could understand what I was saying. But since then, found out I had an issue with my modem. Swapped it out with a new one, and everything should be running better now. Looks like we're doing 720p at least, which is a hell of a lot better than 540. I don't know what you need to stream 1080p at though, because I'm doing 10 megabits up, so I don't know. I guess it's out of my league, but anyway, we should be popping right back into where we were before. But real quick, I want to go to the options and change some things because I noticed that the volume for the talkie people was kind of loud, so I'm going to turn that down a little bit, just to like 85. Save changes. It also seems like I was a little quiet on the last video, but I don't know, so I'm just going to leave it how it is and hope that it's okay. Alright, so let's get back into it. I think we had just finished making the secondary character and hadn't done anything else yet. So, uh, what's the next thing that needs to be done? I think, yeah, oh, that's right. We got to talk to this guy, and he's going to tell us that we can be trained and he just teaches you how to like order your pawns to do things. But I need to hire new pawns first, or at least I want to hire new pawns first, because I don't like Rook very much, and I need a ranged user. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. Getting this thing better has been an effort, but hopefully the stream is coming across a lot nicer. Uh, yeah, it looks like it's actually doing pretty well. At least it's not constantly freezing and stopping, so I can be pretty happy about that. Oh yeah, this is another thing that they only kind of explain in this game, and that you can totally miss uh, if you don't do. I think it's a side. It might be a main story quest, but I think at least some of them are side quests involve that guy, and the implication that he's not the cause for the bad things in the world, but he's making them more specifically for you. So let's go here. So this game, I think I mentioned in the previous part, you know, you recruit other people's secondary characters. A pretty cool thing that you can do is that if someone on your friends list plays this game and they have a pawn, you can recruit them regardless of their level. Like usually, like you see, all these guys are my level. They're level 4. I think Rook is he's level 6 by default, but all these guys are level 4 because I'm level 4. If I wanted to hire someone a higher level than me, it would actually cost me these Rift coins, um, which you can earn throughout the game, but it's kind of slow and kind of a pain in the ass. Um, and just to get a few levels higher than you gets really, really expensive. Like right now, if I wanted to hire someone that was like level 40, it would probably cost me like 50,000 Rift crystals or something, and that's more than you could reasonably expect to get in this game after playing like 20 hours. But if someone on your friends list has this game and plays it and has a high level character, you can rent their pawn for free and keep them for as long as you like. And that's something I did in the first game, I think. Although I eventually outgrew the character that I was renting because the other person didn't play anymore. But what do I want to do? I want to fire Rook. So you go up to talk to them. It's kind of annoying the way you fire them because it makes you go through this whole thing. Like it's not gonna do it with Rook because he doesn't have an owner. He doesn't have a human on the other side of him. He's just a robot. So I'm gonna release him. But usually, whenever you fire someone, you have to give them a rating. You have to review everything you've done with them, and it gives you the option to give them a gift. It's just kind of a long process, especially if you're swapping pawns out frequently. So I do want a magic user, and I want a bow user. So we got a bow user right here. So you walk up to them, and it's really important. It's not just a level doesn't matter nearly as much as their equipment and the skills they have equipped. So being level 4, they're all going to have basically the same equipment, and they're probably going to have similar skills. But you can talk, you'll walk up, talk to them, and you can view details. I think there's a quicker way to do this while you're walking around in the crowd. You can hit a button and it pops up their skills. you can see Strider rank, so they're not going to be anything special. You want to make sure they at least have a skill. For some reason, some people don't give them any skills or something like that. Um, this person looks okay. I mean, you know, they're level. It's a starter one, so I'm just going to recruit them because I don't have any other options really. And then I need a magic user. There's a couple of them in here. Yeah, achievement. Uh, what's the button? Here we go. So vocation, gender, primary skills, secondary skills. I think I think Ingle is the one. I can't remember which spell is the healing spell. I think it's Ingle, but that might not be right. But I'm gonna go with this person, this chick.
Yes, Arisen.
So on list. And I probably won't have these people for too long. Probably just long enough to get me to the main city, because like I said, I don't plan on making many levels before I get there. So these people will probably not be in my party for very long. That being said, getting to the main city can be kind of difficult, uh, especially if you don't have any ranged attacks yourself. Like you have to rely on the pylons to do ranged attacks, like I'm going to have to, because there's a lot of flying enemies where you're going. Right when we stepped out of the village, there was this guy getting beaten up by goblins. Turns out he was a merchant. Since you saved him, I think he gives you a discount. But either way, this is one of the first places you can buy stuff. And you're going to want to do that because right now I'm holding a rusty sword and rusty shield, and they're pretty worthless. So you want to pop in and just buy whatever you can afford. I wouldn't worry about armor too much right now. You mostly just want a decent weapon, which I don't know. I have 4 grand, so I can buy the trusty sword. I don't think he sells anything better. Yeah, I don't think he sells anything better. So I'm just gonna buy the sword, and no, I can't even afford to buy the shield, so I won't even bother with it. So I will buy that. The inventory system, like, this is nice that it pops up and says, hey, change your equipment, but the inventory system is kind of weird in general, and it's got, like, different classifications for what you're carrying. Like, all of your armor and weapons and equipment is on this one inventory system, and all your consumables and crafting materials and all that other different stuff is in an entirely separate menu system. So I guess it keeps things kind of neat and organized, but it's also kind of annoying when you're looking for things. But yeah, as you can see this, so when it says strength, it means melee damage. So that you have your strength stat, and then your strength stat is amplified by whatever weapon you're using. So as you can see, switching to an actual sword instead of a rusty stick takes my strength from 102 to 176. I can actually do damage with it. This is another reason why starting with daggers sucks, is because the rusty daggers do virtually no damage. If I had been cheap and taken some of that armor from the inn, I would have some armor to wear right now. As it stands right now, I don't. I could switch back to my blood-soaked clothes from when I got my heart torn out, but they're worse. But I'm actually gonna see if I can sell this rusty sword and this, and scrape together enough to get that shield, because it does at least uh, add to your defense passive. It adds to your passive defense rating. So let's see here. How do you sell? Can you sell to him? I thought you could sell to him.
No.
Oh, okay, you have to go all the way back to here. So you go to sell. And I picked up some. When it says scrag of beast, it just means like chunk of meat. And I picked up 5 of those somewhere. So I'll sell these. I'll sell these. You can eat these greenwash herbs to recover health, but they're worth way more to me as money right now than they are as a healing item, because they're not that great. I'll keep the lantern because those are useful. So you got I could sell. So the misshapen eye and the rugged bone I both got from the ogre cyclops that I knocked down earlier. These kind of things are used in crafting materials. Like every weapon has 3 tiers, and the better the weapon, the more exotic crafting materials you'll need to upgrade that weapon. Misshapen eye and rugged bone are some. Uh, Usually, like 9 times out of 10, if I find an item that I know is going to be used for crafting of weapons and armor, which it says right down there at the bottom, I would keep it. But I know for a fact both that I'm going to be fighting tons of Cyclops in the future, and I know exactly where to go if I ever need to farm Cyclops. I'm going to go ahead and sell these now so I can get myself some decent weapons and armor. Yeah, I can sell the rusty sword for 200 bucks, which is not a lot, and I can sell these for 80 bucks. So I'll go ahead and do that just to clear out my inventory. And then an important thing is your allies will often walk around and they'll just pick shit up. So they'll like go pick up some herbs or something like that. I don't know if these guys. Oh, he didn't pick up anything, and these two aren't gonna have anything because I just recruited them. But sometimes it's the case. Now, if I was super cheap, I would just go down to one of the DLC items. You can sell the Ruminator's monocle for $312,000, and it's what is it? It's a cosmetic item. It doesn't have any effect. So it's not like I'm selling a good item. I'm just selling something that lets you wear a monocle. So if I want to be cheap, I could make an easy 300 grand. But I would prefer to enjoy this game and have a little bit of challenge in it. So I'm going to avoid doing that. And I'm just going to sell what I have right now, which will allow me to buy the shield and maybe like a chest piece, but probably not much else. Money in this game for the first half of the game, money's kind of tight. And that's okay really because you're not going to buy a whole lot. But then you hit a certain point in the game where you start running into high level monsters who have good drops, and you can start selling it. There's also places you can go to farm money, and it becomes much less of an issue. And I think one of the achievements in this game is to get like $1 million at once, and it's not that hard at all. You can do it pretty quickly. So let's see here. So first off, I want the shield. I think I might be wasting my money, honestly, because there's another trader that comes by, a female trader that comes by, and I think she has better gear than this guy. But I don't know when she comes, and I'm trying to go to the main city as fast as I can, so I'm not really worrying about it too much. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this and put it on. And I'll get myself like a chest piece, and I don't know, maybe the helmets in this game usually look pretty dumb, so I would prefer not to wear one. But we'll see what I get. So this is it's like a two-part system, or maybe, or what is it, like a three-part system? I know that there's Under Armor and then there's Over Armor, and I'm trying to remember if they're specifically gloves, but I don't think there are. Or yeah, there are, but they're different part. So the torso is a two-part system where you have like leather shirt or like linen shirt, hemp shirt, whatever, and that's your like under dressing, and then you have actual armor that goes over it, and then gloves that go over that. Uh, so you can layer them, and you can basically stagger your defenses. So like one part might be good against magic, one part might be good against physical. So together they're pretty strong. Uh, there's a lot of armor variation in this game, but you're not going to use most of it because a lot of the armor is very similar. Like there might be 20 different pieces that you can wear, but they're all kind of the same. And then you'll find this one piece of armor that's way above everything else, and it's the only thing you'll ever wear. But for right now, I'll go ahead and get. So I'm looking at physical defense because honestly, especially for the first part of the game, you really don't run into any magic using enemies. They come into it a little bit more later, but even towards the end of the game, you are primarily fighting uh, physically based attackers, like people using swords and bows and stuff like that. And you only really occasionally fight anybody using magic, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Uh, see, I go from leather chest card and it says clothing, and that's go down one and it says armor. So that's where the swap begins. I can't. Why can't I buy these? Are they too expensive? What's going on? For some reason it won't let me buy any of this. I'm pretty sure I'm the right class. I am the right class. So what's going on? I have enough money. That's weird. Well, I'll go ahead and buy the best Under Armor they have, which I think is this leather chest guard right here. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and buy one of those. Oh, I see. Buying the shield and the... No, that's not right. Why can't I buy these? Maybe, yeah. Did I buy something else besides this? I didn't buy that. I have 4 grand, but for some reason my total is 3 grand, so how did I mess this up? Oh, clicking through, I accidentally bought some of these shirts. So on the little column right there, you see the 0 with my ticker. While I was going up and down, I must have accidentally hit to the right to buy some of the shirts, and that like took my total up too high. That was really confusing for a second. So let's see here. I don't want that. That chest guard's probably the best one. No, that one is. Oh, it looks dumb. I like the way this one looks a lot better than this one. That one looks kind of dumb. Uh, it's also way worse against magic defense and against piercing. So I think I'll go with this chest guard. And I think that's about all I can afford right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and equip it all. So, bam. And now we are a little bit better equipped. So our defenses went up by about 20 points, both in physical and 20 points in magic defense. That's not bad. That's a pretty good little boost. All right. So that's decent. Another thing you got to take care of is your pawns. But unlike you, who comes with a rusty sword, your first pawn actually comes with a halfway decent weapon and stuff to begin with. So I'm going to leave him with what he's got because it's pretty much on the level of what I just bought. All right, so let's sell what we don't need anymore and hit the road. So sell this rusted shield and sell this plebeian shirt, which is great, and get out of here. So we got 600 bucks. Oh, right, we should go do the training that the guy tells us to do. I think I'm only going to do it because I think it gives you a reward for doing so. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother because he doesn't tell you anything new. He doesn't even really tell you anything at all. He says, you'll see when it pops up, but he says basically like certain enemies are weak to certain types of attacks. You guys should play your strengths. And then we run around smacking dummies and carrying crates for a little while. Alright. He does have a good point though. Like, we're going to start with the carrying crates thing. We're all just going to run, pick up a crate, and bring it to an area. I don't really know how this helps anything, but, you know, whatever. He does have a good point though, in that some enemies are much weaker to certain types of attacks than other types of attacks, so it usually pays to have, geez, I don't remember the controls. It usually pays to have a magic user or a archer with you at least. Alright, now I gotta pay attention to the game a little bit. Just to be able, because you never know what you're gonna run into, especially walking around the woods. Like, I mean, I enjoy that the game can throw surprises at you, but it gets a little annoying when you're just walking down the road and a dragon appears, and the dragon's not scaled to you. It's an in-game, combatant like encounter, but it happened like I know a dragon. There's one in Drakewood Forest that you can run into just doing the like basic early on story missions, and he's got 27 health bars, and he does insta kill attacks to you because you're so weak. So it helps to be prepared, and also this is one of those games where there's no shame, or at least there's not too much shame in just running away. If you're getting kicked on, you can just bolt. Don't worry about your pawns. If they die. The next time you go to a summoning shard, a wakestone shard, they'll just appear. Like, you just touch it and they come back to you, and it's all good. So we'll do the next thing. So if you ever are getting pounded down too badly, you can just run away. Yeah, so this is a situation where, like, I think these dummies are weak to melee attacks. I think the blue ones are weak to magic, and then there's yellow ones that are weak to archery or something like that. But it doesn't really matter too much because even the dummies that are weak, or that aren't weak to the thing that you're using, will still go down after a couple hits. As you can see, the AI are a little bit slower than you to do things, but they do the job all right. They're capable of fighting on their own. It's also not a game where like you're the only person who can do any real damage, and everybody else might hit them but does like virtually no damage. Your AI will injure and kill enemies at a decent rate. Not as quickly or as powerfully as you, but still like maybe like 70 to 80% of what you do. So they're not worthless like in a lot of games. What are we doing, scarecrows? So just going to go ahead and let your AI take care of the ones that they're going to take care of, and you just focus on the ones that are weak to you, like this one right here. There we go. I think I just made a level. I think I made like level, or either I or somebody in my group leveled up to the next level. Oh, I missed out. Which I still want to get to the castle before I make level 10. And the reason I said that is because you can't change vocations anywhere but the main castle, I believe. I don't think you can do it in the tavern back in your hometown. No, I don't think you can. I think you can only do it, or the first place that you can do it is in the castle. So it's pretty much your only option. So I think I got 1,500 bucks for doing that. So that's pretty worth it. I just leveled up to level 5. I know we can't go to the castle yet. There's an event that's going to happen soon that has to happen first. And I think all I have to do to activate it is talk to the lady who's in charge of this place. Commander... I want to say her name has something to do with a horse. I can't remember. Yeah, this chick right here. Mercedes, yep. No. You talk to her. She's like, hey, help me out, bro. And she's like, hey, we're going to head here soon. You're going to rest. And then an event will happen that's going to happen right now. And after this, that's when you can go to the castle. Yeah, your character always looks dumb. Yeah, I did have facial hair on him. I meant to take those stupid, like, baby sideburns off of him, give him a clean shaven face, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Oh, no, monster. So this is a Hydra. Yep, there we go. I was like, did I spoil that? But no, they pretty much show you immediately. It's a Hydra, so it's a multi-headed snake monster beast. This is a can't win fight, but it's also not a forced to lose fight either. Like, you just have to wait it out. The snake's gonna travel a certain distance. All you have to do is hit it occasionally, and like this. Like you can see up there, it's got the purple bars, its health, but then it's got those dots under it. Each one of those dots is another health bar. So that's what I mean whenever I say it has like 20 lives, 20 health bars. This one only has like, I don't know, like 8 or 9. But you can't win this fight. I don't think, at least not on this. Maybe on New Game Plus you would have the equipment to do enough damage to maybe like chop a head off or something. Your allies can get eaten by the snake, and what'll happen is they'll come down, the snake will hold them in their mouth for a while, and then eventually they'll swallow them. And you can climb up and you can whack the snake at where your person is. If you chop the head off, you can get the person out, but unless you can do that, I wouldn't be able to do that now. I don't think you can do anything about it. And I think they die, like die. And that can happen to you as well, so you need to be careful. That's why I'm hanging out over on the side. I'm not really fighting him in front. It's because I know I can't beat him, and I don't want to get eaten by him. Oh, yep. Well, they're eating some people. I don't think they've gotten any of mine yet. So, later on in the game, you will run into other Hydras who you can actually fight and kill in the Everfall. Yeah, see, so like somehow we chop one of its heads off, and even though it's a Hydra, and not only can it grow it back, but it's got 6 other heads, it runs away. And everyone attributes you to cutting the head off. So they're going to start calling you a hero, and you're going to take this head and present it before the king to show him, like, hey, you know, I'm the real deal, and I'm here to help you with all your dragon-related problems. Yeah. Maybe I can't skip this cutscene. Whatever. But Mercedes is another potential love interest. Although a weird thing about most of the love interests is they leave. Like 70% of the way through the game, no matter who you pick, for some reason or another, they will leave the country. And it's kind of for a story reason. You will eventually see them again, but it's weird. Like you can like with Mercedes here. You could get your affinity to the max and be like in a relationship with them and everything like that. They don't really do anything. There are a few story parts to it, but it all feels very detached, very empty. I'm gonna accept that. Feels very detached, very empty. Kind of just kind of weird. Like they wanted. I think this game was supposed to be a lot bigger than it was, and maybe they just like. Maybe they ran out of time, like they made the world first. They made this giant, massive world, and then they realized, well, we don't have as much time to fill it with stuff as we thought, because you're going to walk through most of this game, and it's going to feel kind of empty. Like there are monsters there, but there's nothing else. You want to go over to these bounty boards and pick up bounties, because a lot of them are stuff you're going to do anyways. Like, well, I probably wouldn't go out of my way usually to kill seagulls, but I'll take that one just in case I see any. But some of them be like, kill 20 goblins, and so I was going to do that anyways. Yeah, like 45 undead warriors. I think Soulbreaker is a sword or a weapon. Yeah, there are undead in this game. You run into them at night later on. You'll do that one easily when you go to Witchwood. What wood? Witchwood. Defeat 3 Cyclopses. You'll probably do that at some point as well. And slay 10 wolves. You'll do that super early on. So, and you don't have to come back to the bounty board to turn into quests, and they cash in automatically. I think my people are really hurt. So to heal these guys, you can go back over to the Wake Stone, and I think just touch it. Or you can sleep in an inn for a night, or you can find a hope spring, or like a wellness spring, but there's only a few of those in the game. But if we just go over here, I think all we have to do is touch this, and it'll heal them. Like go in, pop back out. That might not be the case, though. I can't remember. If not, we'll just sleep until morning. I guess I could technically swap out the pawns because I gained 2 levels, but I'm not going to worry about that much. Because I don't plan on really fighting all that much. Let's see, are you healed? Yes. This guy's a ripoff. I think he charges you like $300 or $500 a night to sleep, which is kind of bullshit because like the tavern, the actual building back in the hometown only charges you $50 a night to sleep. But I think it's even worse once you get to the main city. I think that place is even more expensive. But at least there you can do things like change vocations and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and try and get to the city as quickly as possible. This road is dangerous if you stop, but if you just run through, it's not a big deal. And I'm probably just going to run through. Who are you? Queen. Okay, so this is the part where it's like, hey, go back to the village and ask old man guy what's going on with his daughter. I'm gonna go to the city first because then I can get that teleportation stone I was talking about, and it'll take me back to the starting city, and I'll be higher level and I'll be my right class and I can do it properly. Because right now, if I went and did that, I would be able to get through it okay, but I would gain too many levels, and I would miss my chance to switch over to a hybrid class. So we're just going to go ahead and start towards the main city. There are bandits on this way and wolves, and there's also like that. If you walk down that direction, that's how you get to the woods, to the Witch Woods, which is where Creona is. There's bandits right up there, and there's wolves along this pathway. I might stop to fight a few to pick up a level or two, because I think I'm only level 6, so I got a bit of a buffer. But in general, I'm not gonna stop, just because I don't want to level up too much before I get my next class. So how do you? No. I'm trying to remember how to. Yeah, there we go. So if you hold down right bumper, it activates your skills and abilities, and so some of them are better than others. This one's okay. This one lets you close the distance. It's blink strike, so you just run towards your enemy and stab them. It's pretty useful. I should have bought the uppercut skill while I was still in town, but it's no big deal. I think I have the option to do it before we head out, but I'm going to kill a few of these just to try and get a little bit of power. Because the harpies in the passageway that goes to the main town are kind of a pain in the ass, especially for me because I don't have any abilities that let me fight something above me. So I'm going to have to rely on my archer and my mage to take care of them for the most part. Which reminds me, there's a part in the passageway, and I'll discuss it, or I'll at least point it out more when we get to it. There's a part in the passageway where all of your AI companions can die, and they die because they jump off the fucking cliff. You're going to be walking down the passage, and you're going to see on the cliff edge there's a chest, and you're going to walk over to the chest. The AI in this game try to anticipate where you're going, so all the AI are going to run over to the chest as well. They're going to jump over the chest, and when they jump over the chest, they're going to fall 75 feet to their death. And there's nothing you can do to go pick them up. There's no way to go get to them. So I would do my best to avoid that chest or stay away from it. Come back for it later. There's not even anything good in the chest. It's just random crap, so don't even bother. But that's like halfway through the passage. So then if 1 or 2 of your AI jump over that chest and kill themselves, you have to finish the rest of the mission with just 1 person to help you. And if it was your archer or your mage, then you have no way range attacks to fight the harpies with, so it can be a real pain in the ass. So I'm going to run by all this, and we will get up to here. So this is where you meet Mercedes to move the snakehead to the king. Oh, got too tired. All my people seem to be alright. I think there's a rift stone up here I can heal them with. Or something. There's definitely a... Yeah, there's a wake stone. I can heal my people with the wake stone. So we'll do that real quick. Just pop in. Actually, I think I'm going to trade up because I'm level 7 now, and these guys are still level 4. I'm going to get rid of them, get some level 7s on, just to make the process a little bit better. So speak and release. Oh. Somebody's texting me right now. Alright. I'll deal with that in a little bit. Yes. This pawn needs to leave the party. I guess that was a computer-generated pawn because I didn't have to do anything special to fire him. Alright, speak.
Is everything in order?
Release. Yes.
May I
Okay, so let's get another... I need another archer. You look okay, I guess. You look a little weird. The headpieces in this game can be a bit strange. I'll go ahead and enlist you. And I need a magic user who preferably has the ability to heal. You look okay. Yeah, you look okay. So I'll go with this one right here, Adrian.
Yes, Arisen.
Alright.
I am honored.
There we go. So let's get back on the road and we'll head out. Oh, no, didn't mean to do that. Head out and escort the snakehead to the king. Looks like my stream is at least processing a little bit better. It doesn't look quite as bad as it did earlier. Alright, so all we gotta do is talk to Mercedes. Actually, I think I can talk to one of you guys. No, that's just for storage. I can't do anything special. So I'm gonna bring up the point of placing port crystals later, probably much later in the game. I'm gonna say there's a couple of locations you should place a port crystal. This is one of them. I would suggest placing a port crystal like right over here, because it's weirdly like when you first play the game, you don't think much of this area. You're like, ah, whatever, just this one spot. And it's also pretty close to the encampment, but the nearest teleportation spot from here is all the way back at the starting village. I would place a port crystal here because you actually have a ton of quests that take place in this area. It'll save you a lot of time if you just pop one here and you can teleport here for the rest of the game. Because otherwise it's a pain in the ass to start. Like the nearest two places are a good like 10-minute walk to get here. So the gimmick of this is it's an escort quest, and you don't really have to care about the people around the cart. The only thing you have to worry about is the cart itself. The ox is blisteringly, painfully slow. This is about as fast as he goes for the entire trip. So you could probably run the canyon in maybe like 5 minutes, but guarding the stupid ox, it probably takes you close to 15. It's kind of handy because, I mean, I guess the only good thing I can say about it going slowly is that it doesn't run into danger. You can usually kill all the enemies before the ox even gets there, but it's just annoying. Fortunately, this is pretty much the only time you'll ever do something like this. There are other escort quests in the game, but they run almost as fast as you, and you can even teleport with the fairy stones, and the person you're escorting will come with you. So if you have a port crystal near where you need to take them, you can just teleport straight to it and collect the reward. No big deal. Try and pick up everything you can because you never know what you're going to need for a crafting item or to sell because you're broke in the beginning of the game. And that's about it. For this part, I mean, the only thing you're gonna fight harpies over and over and over again. If I had Skyward Slash, it'd be useful, but you can still jump and swing, and you can sometimes knock them out of the air when you're doing that, or even just swinging on the ground like this, you can get them. It's pretty generous about the reach of your weapon. The harpies are pretty weak. Once you get them on the ground, they die in like a hit or two. Your only issue is if they can actually pick somebody up. They'll pick somebody up, carry them into the air, and drop them. And the fall damage in this game is no joke. He also put me to sleep, which fortunately doesn't last too long. Somebody will come wake me up, or I'll just get up on my own in just a minute. There we go. But they can pick you up, and they'll drop you, and the line between no fall damage and fall damage is a hard one. Like, you can fall from a certain height and be perfectly fine. You fall like 2 more feet, you're going to lose half your health. So these guys dropping you is a pretty big deal. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much you can do if they pick you up. If they pick one of your allies up and you hit them before they get too high, they'll drop them and they'll be okay. But I don't think your allies are smart enough to hit the thing that picks you up, so you kind of have to just suck it up. But yeah, if you go down this way, you go down to the beach. There's 2 Cyclopses down there, I think, armored Cyclopses. So that's a good place to get misshapen eyes and other crafting materials and kind of grind some money. But I'm not too worried about it right now. And I think those Cyclopses are higher level than the ones that we already fought. Yeah. If I had a bow, I could have shot these guys before they ever even took flight, and it would have been pretty easy. There we go. But unfortunately, I do not. So we're just gonna have to do it kind of the difficult way. Fortunately, the AI's aim, if they have nothing else going for them, their aim is great. Especially the archers, they almost never miss their shots. So, especially in a situation like this, they can be pretty useful. I think there's another one on the ground over there. See, this is where I get nervous when we start getting towards cliffs because the AI will absolutely jump off in a heartbeat. So I just want to be careful around here. Oh, got some wolves. So, for the most part, the enemies will target you, but occasionally they'll get locked onto the cart and do some damage. But the cart can take a ton of hits, so it's really no big deal. Like, even if you weren't here to escort them, just the AI idiots being here protecting the cart will probably make it through the pass just fine, which makes this whole sequence kind of pointless and annoying. That chest over there is the chest I'm talking about, the one that's on the cliff right there. If you walk towards that, your AI will jump over it and jump off the cliff and kill themselves. So just stay away from it for now. I think you can issue a command to your AI and be like, hey, just hang out here, but it's on the D-pad. But I know the chest doesn't have anything good in it, so I don't care either way. I'm going to run ahead here because I know that there's a spot with loot coming up. Oh, dang it. There's a spot with loot coming up, and I want to be able to loot the place because before the cart gets there, because the cart will stop for you, but the last thing I want the damn thing to do is stop because it's already moving so slow. Oh, it's going to put me to sleep if I'm not careful. Alright, so he's going to lure him down, and I might be able to hit him. Oh, no, they just knocked him down. But the last thing I want to do is the cart to stop, so I'm going to go ahead and run ahead to where the spot is. Did it stop? Oh, great. So I guess I can't run too far ahead or it stops as well. So, alright, I guess we'll just wait for it. You would have thought, like, a commander in the army could afford a better wagon, for one. I think you can actually hurt the ox if you hit it directly, so you kind of have to be careful, but the ox, it can take a ton of damage, so I think even on hard mode, this is a pretty easy thing to do, this escort thing. There's bullshit coming, where once the ox reaches a certain point in the path, a rock falls down, like Resident Evil 4 style, and chases you down the alleyway, and you can either jump in front of it, take the hit, and lose some of your health, or you can let it hit the ox and do some damage to it. I'll probably just let it hit the ox because I think we'll be fine on this quest even with the hit. Like that rock right up there is the one that's going to fall. And I think if you jump up there after the rock has fallen, there's like a chest that you can get. But what I want to do is I want to loot this house. I think there's some bandits in here, or maybe that's later. Yeah, there's just some people in here now. Later on, if you come back to this place, these guys are dead, and there's some bandits in this house. I don't think I can do anything for them. But yeah, I just want to get a couple of things. I think over... Nope, no, don't run off. I thought there was another chest somewhere around here, but I guess not. I got to be careful walking around the edges because I know my AI will jump off the edge if given the opportunity. Oh, here it is. Hopefully the cart's doing okay, but I think it'll be alright. Oh, more harpies. So let's get back to the cart. At least it's still moving. So yeah, I wonder if I can... I don't know if there's somebody up here who pushes the damn thing, or if it just falls on its own. But let me get this.
Just wait.
Maybe I can stop it from falling, but I don't think I can. I think I'm pretty much screwed on that one, so I'll probably just let it hit the cart. Ooh. Wow, that dude got annihilated. Chick. I guess they're all chicks, aren't they? Yep. I think I'll hit the town right as I'm turning level 10, so that's pretty good. That's exactly where I wanted to be. Enemies. I wish I had my bow. Oh, don't put me asleep. Don't put me asleep. Oh, here comes the rock. So I'm just going to let... Yep, there we go. I'm just going to let him take that shot. And just pick him up. Doesn't cost you anything, so no big deal. That sucks a lot more if the rock hits you because the AI can't pick you up. Wow, she got hurt pretty bad. She's lost like a fifth of her health. I don't know what from though. I think we've killed just about everything. Oh yeah, and I guess gremlins throw these rocks at you because as far as I'm aware, there's nobody actually up on the cliffs, but these rocks are just gonna fall anyways. The only time it happens too. If you come back here later, I don't think the rocks ever fall again. But we're almost there. We're actually, I think I would consider that like the halfway point for the this what would you call this? Whatever this trail is in the middle of rocks, the name is currently escaping me. But we're past the halfway point and it's downhill from here, so it's actually pretty quickly going. We don't fight too many more harpies. It's mostly just wolves and goblins. My archer wants to shoot this thing down. That'd be great. So I can stand here and jump and swing like a jackass. Nope, I'm knocked out. So fortunately with this game, status effects don't usually last too long. The only exception to that is one where you become blind. Like there is a darkness spell that people can cast on you, or a poison spell that makes you blind, and that shit lasts forever. Unless you have an item to heal you, there's these little blue cure stones that will let you see again. I don't know that ever goes away, at least in some cases, and it blacks out your screen and just makes it impossible to continue playing. Oh, here we go, wolves. Alright, I'll take you. The best combo you can have early on, at least, is the little dash move that I'm doing, followed by an uppercut. They blend well into each other, so you can hit someone with a dash and immediately follow up with an uppercut, and basically kill pretty much any of these low-level enemies pretty easily. Found a skull. Does not bode well. I'll probably use a sword for pretty much the entire game, because the class I use can use swords or daggers, and I just find the swords to be better in general. I'm sure plenty of people online think that the daggers are better, but, you know, whatever. Personal taste. And I think I brought this up earlier, but there's a point where I said that each class upgrades skills in different ways, and the skills are very important in different ways. Like for the most part, most weapons use melee damage as their primary factor, you know, because they're melee weapons. But some enchanted weapons use your magic attack as part of the factor in addition to your melee attack. So it's actually a good idea to spend like 10 or 20 levels later on down the road as a mage, so you can upgrade your magic attack stat that will actually make your physical enchanted weapons better. It's kind of convoluted, and the game's never going to tell you that at any point. That's something you have to learn. I learned it just by reading online and doing a little bit of testing in my game, but it'll never tell you that. But that's the best thing to do if you want to use enchanted weapons, which the enchanted weapons are the best weapons in the game, of course. And all the like top tier in level equipment is like half magic, half melee. So you pretty much, well, you don't have to. You want to do that if you want to maximize your abilities. For the base game, the game that I'm gonna play through, because I don't know if I'm gonna do Dark Arisen, but the game I'm gonna play through, you really don't need to care about that stuff too much. Once you hit level 60, which sounds like a lot, but it's not that bad. Once you hit level 60, the game really doesn't have anything more to throw at you, except for the Dragon, I guess. But even that's not that big of a deal. But I mean, yeah, you don't really have to worry about your stats too much. Now, if you're gonna go do the Dark Arisen expansion, Bitter Black Isle, you definitely need to have built yourself correctly, or it's going to be extremely difficult to get through there, because everything's super high level and they all throw bullshit status effects at you while you're fighting, and just generally a harder area. But for the base game, you can get by just doing whatever you want to do, and you'll probably be okay, unless you like really bone things up, like you spend the first 40 levels being a mage and then you decide that you want to switch to a warrior. You're probably not going to do that well. But just in general, you can pretty much do whatever you want. I prefer to min-max as much as possible, at least, because I like to do New Game Plus, and I want to do Bitter Black Isle. I probably won't stream too much of Bitter Black Isle because it's a lot of walking through corridors, fighting the same couple enemies over and over again. I might stream the boss fights because those are actually interesting. Oops, something blew up. Man, you guys are getting fucking hurt. Pull yourselves together. I'll just go ahead and kill these guys. But yeah, you don't have to worry too much. I do stress switching from a basic class to an advanced class as early as possible because that really will make the game go much smoother, much easier, and you'll become much more powerful in the long run. But even doing that, it's not vital. I guess I mean I didn't do it the first time I played the game, and I was still able to beat it. But playing the second time, I noticed the difference immediately. When I started fighting the later tier bosses, like the first time I played the game and beat it, I thought the final boss was a real pain in the ass. I thought it was brutal. The second time I played it through and I had done everything properly, he was a joke. I think I killed him in 2 or 3 hits. So it can make a big difference. Alright. I'm just trying to clear all these guys out before the cart gets there because the cart's actually taking a lot of damage. I've never actually had the cart die on me on this trip, so I don't know what would happen, but just the sheer idea of it making me do it all over again is enough for me to want to make sure we do it right the first time. Alright, but that's the castle right there, and we're pretty much all the way there. I think those were the last enemies we had to fight, so now we just have to wait for it to walk all the way down this road. This is where you're gonna spend 60% of the game is inside this castle. Because you go here so early, I mean we're what 2 hours into this game and we're already here. You would think this would be like the first of many, and that's another reason why I say that I think this game was supposed to be a lot more or bigger than it was, is because this is it. This is easily the biggest castle you're going to go to, and also the most populated. You're never going to go to another like castle. Like this is the only one. You'll go to some military encampments, and they just have some people in them, and they're kind of big, but they're not anything close to this. And there's no other like cities. Like it's this, and it's the starting village, and that's it. And everywhere else is either a military encampment or something like that. So I think maybe they had planned for this game to be a lot bigger, and then they had to scale back in the end because the world is huge, and there's roads leading places. Like there will be you can get on a road and go across the entire map, and then the road just kind of dead ends and doesn't lead anywhere. And I think maybe there were supposed to be other like villages or towns to go to that just didn't. And not to say that this game world is empty. There are a few bandit camps that are huge, and this game does something cool where like there are certain bandit camps you don't have to fight. You can go in and talk to people and make deals and stuff. And that's pretty cool. But yeah, there are monsters throughout the world, of course, and you'll run to the occasional like little pocket of human population things. But there's never going to be another city like this, or even another city or town as big as the one that you start off in. This is pretty much it.
What's that?
Which makes me think this might have been meant to be a multiplayer game originally, like maybe an MMO, because they eventually did make a Dragon's Dogma MMO that's only available in, I think it's only available in South Korea, maybe, or Japan, but I know it's definitely not available to the US. You can play it in the US, but you have to download like a third-party mod packs that do English language and all this different stuff. But I think this might have been a multiplayer game or MMO at one point, and they might have just not been able to do it. Come on, Ox, you're killing me. I'm running out of things to talk about the stupid Ox and the stupid snakehead. That the king doesn't even care about, by the way. You're gonna give him the snakehead, and he's never gonna mention it again. You're never gonna see it again. These cows are great because if you want to farm money in this game, which I'm probably not going to do because I don't care too much, but if for whatever reason you felt the need to farm money, these cows are where you're going to come. You can kill one and it'll drop meat. It drops 3 different grades of meat. The lowest grade is only worth like $200, but the highest grade is worth like $3 grand. And there's like 30 or 40 cows across this entire field area, so you can just run out here, kill a bunch of cows, go sleep for 3 days, come back out. They've all respawned. You kill them over and over again. I've done that once before. It's excruciatingly boring. I probably won't do it in this game, and I definitely won't do it on the stream if I do it at all. But it is a good way to make money. You can make like, you can probably clear like 50 to 75 grand in one run. So if there's like a piece of armor or a weapon that you really, really, really want, and you just can't live without, then you could do that and probably earn it pretty quickly. Come on, we're almost there. You literally have to wait. I think you have to wait until the ox hits the front door. Kind of a weird quest considering you don't ever do anything like this again. I guess it's kind of like introducing you to the concept of escort quests. But from now on, if you ever do an escort quest, it's going to be a person. You don't ever escort a cart again, as far as I'm aware. All right, there we go. So that grants you entrance into the city. I don't know if I've never tried to come to the city before doing that. I don't think you can. I think that portcullis stays closed in the beginning, and you just can't get past it. But if you could, I don't even know what would happen. They might not let you in, and you might have made the entire trip for nothing. So this is pretty much the last time you're going to interact with Mercedes in a meaningful way. There's one quest a long time from now that you'll do with her, but that's pretty much it. And you never stay in contact with a person for very long, or you never like interact with a person for very long in this game. You meet them, you do like one or two missions for them, and then they're gone. You never really care about them again. This guy is kind of better than that. You actually will. He has a quest line, but once again, once you're done with the quest line, you don't really talk to him or see him again. I don't even know. I think he's his own man. I thought he was a pawn the first time I met him, but I think he's an actual person. All right, I'm level 9, so that's exactly where I wanted to be. Achievement. This is the town you'll spend the most time in, and honestly, you're gonna, for the amount of time you're gonna spend in town, this little square right here is where you're gonna spend most of the time inside the town. Like, there is a whole half a city that direction that you will explore twice to pick up some random chests and loot and maybe meet somebody, and that's it. For the most part, you're gonna go to this inn right here because that's where you sleep, upgrade, and change vocations. You're gonna come over here because there's a bounty board over here. And the 2 or 3 shops in the entire place worth going to are right here. So, but I appreciate that it's a big place. It feels lived in, you know, it feels like a real world kind of. I like that it's not just on a flat plains going up and down hills and all the buildings are ramshackle. It's cool and fun and all that. You want to go ahead and talk to this guy because he's going to ask you to find a book, which you can do. I mean, I wouldn't immediately set out to do this quest because, like, the game never tells you, but some quests are pretty much out of your league at certain points. I wouldn't set off to do his thing right now because it involves going to some very, very difficult and hard places. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, this is the guy. All my party members are pretty hurt, so I'm going to sleep for the night, and he's talking, saying more things. Change vocation is what we want to do, but I actually need to make one more level before I can do that. Learn or set skills. So that's something I haven't touched yet, and I really should have before we left, but whatever. There are actually a decent number of skills in this game, like just for swords, just for this class. Each class has different skills for each weapon, or at least new skills for each weapon. So I have all these different ones I could have learned. I actually can't see how much discipline I have, but I don't care that much. So you can get skills for sword and shield, and then there's core skills, augments, and secret augments. Core skills are class attributes for whatever class you're currently playing. So I'm a fighter. If I go into core skill and buy a core skill, that core skill will be on me as long as I'm a fighter. But if I switch to a different class, these core skills don't stay with me. Augments are a different story. Once you buy an augment, for like if I buy the fitness augment for the fighter and then I switch to be a mage, I get to keep the fitness augment. So whatever that augment does, I get to keep. And that's why rank is important. You unlock new augments and core skills, but specifically augments, by increasing the rank in the class. So like this one, halves the stamina consumed when you lift objects or grapple hold opponents. That's pretty useful because I think that also, when it says grapple hold opponents, I think that also includes when you're climbing up a monster. So that makes it a lot more viable to climb on something and stab it. And vigilance extends the limit of your health. That's another really useful one. So what you want to do is you want to get rank points so you can get these better augments, and then you can keep them. But you can only have so many augments at a time. So we're going to buy vigilance just because it's a really good one. So my health right now is 720. So I'm going to back out. I'm going to change my enabled skills. I'm going to go down to augments. I'm going to confirm vigilance. So now it went from 720 to 820. So it gave me 100 health points, which is pretty good. So I'm going to go back. And I could have like 6 or 7 augments at once. And, you know, each class has like 8 augments that you can unlock. So you can pick and choose. But each Of the, let's see if we can see the vocations. Of the 9 vocations, each vocation has at least one good augment that you would want. So fighter, strider, mage, those are your basic ones. Then there's warrior, ranger, sorcerer, then mystic knight, assassin, and magic archer. And the one I want to be is assassin, because assassins increase their strength faster than any other character, which means they increase the amount of damage they do faster than anybody else, even above warriors or fighters. I think I have to be level, I'm fairly certain I have to be level 10 before I can do this. Oh, maybe not. Oh no, I know what it was. It's not that you had to wait till level 10 to change, it's that level 10 is when the stat changes are in most effect. Like before level 10, they're all pretty level on stat gains, but after level 10 is when they start deviating and the stat gains become much different. So I became assassin just in time at level 9. So kind of annoying thing is every time you change your class, you're going to change all of your equipment. Even if even if the class you switch to could wear the same equipment as you just wore, it's going to take everything off. You got to put everything back on. Not all classes can wear each other's equipment. Even like an assassin and a warrior, even though technically they're very similar, can't wear the same stuff. So I can now have a sword. I'm not going to put on a shield because I'm actually going to go get a bow. I'm not going to wear that hat because it's stupid. More of that, and more of that. I'm not going to wear any of that other stuff because it's all the DLC stuff. So I mentioned in the last part, when you get to Grand Soren, which is the name of the castle we're in, more of the DLC items become available to you. So that's what you're seeing right now as I'm accessing my inventory in the tavern. This stuff, like you can see that. It raises my defense from 139 to 259. That's kind of game breaking, especially early on. So I'm not going to mess with it because I want to actually have fun with this game. But if you get this game, you'll have access to like this kind of equipment. And honestly, it's kind of game breaking, at least for me. I played through the game once with it, but I would rather play like this and naturally progress and get better armor and weapons. So there we go. I need to change the vocation of my Sir Ribert as well. So I'm going to take him from fighter to warrior. So they only have 6 options. They can't be the hybrid classes. They can only be the advanced. I'm going to make him a warrior because I want him to be a fighter, which means I'm going to have to go buy him a sword because I don't think they can use normal swords. They can only use two-handed, yeah. So he can only use two-handed weapons. So I'm going to have to go buy him that. I don't know what this is. Is this a DLC item or was he wearing that? Whatever. I'll equip him with that, equip him with that. I think he was wearing that, so that's just the item he came with. So give him some pants. These shoes look ridiculous. I guess they're decent. Those rings I might get into later. They give you tiny buffs to specific skills, so they're not super useful. So let's learn some skills for him because I'm still kind of iffed on what I'm gonna do, but I know he's going to be using this class for pretty much the rest of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and let him start learning things like Bastion. Greatly reduces damage sustained in physical attacks. I'm not a warrior. That'd be a great augment to have. So I would want to get some levels in warrior to be able to get that. Although I think I could probably just buy the warrior class, but that would cost a lot of discipline to do right now.
What will it be today?
Damn, did not mean to do that. Talk and navigate, buy skills, and blah, 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 blah. No. My webcam froze again. And hopefully it hasn't done the same thing on the stream. I don't think it has. Alright. Let me close that. Boom. Alright, what is it doing? Buying skills. Skill stuff. Eviscerate. Withdraws the blade with a sweep after stabbing a target. Nah, I'll actually buy him skills. Stab foes and fiercely slashes upward. Can send flying flows into the air. Lunges in while driving the hilt of the blade at the target. Though limited in range, easily stuns flows. Okay, good. So I didn't freeze. Yeah, so the feed that I have on the screen that I'm playing on, my webcam is frozen, so it can be kind of annoying. I think, so the problem, I think I addressed this in the last part a little bit. The problem with two-handed weapon users is a lot of their attacks have a huge wind-up. And a lot of the enemies will whack them while they're in this wind-up phase, and they'll get knocked out of the animation. And they end up never taking a swing in a fight just because they keep getting knocked out of their own animations. So you want to buy them skills that they can execute quickly. I don't know if either one of these is one of those ones that can be done quickly. I think Upward Strike will be okay for him to use though. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll change his enable skills. Jeff, did you end up watching the whole first part? I don't know if there's been enough time for that. Okay, so he already has Savage Slash, so we're gonna learn Upward Strike, and we'll give him the augments. Yeah, Bastion. So that should be good for him. I'm not gonna learn anything quite yet because I need to go buy us some weapons because he doesn't have a sword right now. Halfway through. Yeah, I'm hoping that the video on this one is way better than the video on the previous one because the previous one was pretty rough. Speak to you. You're going to interact with these guys a lot. They're the primary people you're going to buy and sell to. So let's buy some stuff. I got 17 grand. That's not bad. See, I kind of wasted money earlier buying that sword because these guys immediately sell better ones. But I needed something to get through the cave. So, you know, what are you going to do? Do they not sell two-handed swords here? Oh, shit. Oh, no, they do. Okay. They're just really freaking expensive. That's pretty cool looking. It's like Berserk. So I'm gonna have to sell some crap just to be able to buy that. So what do we got? Sell 3 of those, 1 of those. Hopefully I'll be able to sell enough stuff to be able to buy him a sword. Otherwise he's gonna be running around punching things for a while. I really don't want to sell all these things because they're all crafting items to upgrade weapons, but I don't really have a choice because I need the money. So I'm gonna sell that shield because I don't. Throw the villager. Let's see here. Okay, so that's all I got for that. Tell me you guys picked up something. So I'll sell this crappy iron sword and shield. Hopefully that will give us enough money. Jeff, did you have you beat this game? Have you played it all the way through? Okay, so you guys picked up some stuff too. That's good. I can sell some of your crap. So that's what I'm talking about. Like you got to go through everybody's inventory because they'll pick up stuff and it won't really tell you, which I'm glad it doesn't because it'll tell you all the freaking time. But you can go through their inventory, make sure you clean them out, especially before you send them back. I don't know if they take the things they have in the inventory with them, but you know, just to be safe. So 7 grand, that should be enough money to buy Sir Rupert a sword. So I can't buy him the hammer, but that's okay because I think the hammer swing a little bit slower. So it might be better to just have him use the sword anyways. And also, we're going to find better equipment out in the wild, so it doesn't matter. Nope, I only got to play it at a friend's house. I only made it to the cart. You got to the worst part of the game, then. You made it to the cart mission. So, change his equipment. Two-hander equip. Like I said in the first part, I'm going to try to play through this entire game, so you can live vicariously through me, or maybe watching this you'll want to get it yourself. Do you guys have an Xbox One yet? I know you guys were planning on getting one, but I don't know if you actually have one yet. So as for me, I need a bow, which I'm not going to be able to buy because I blew all my money on a sword for Robert. Yeah, I would have to get this one. I need 5 grand. I got 2.5. Okay. Oh, that's right. You guys use Scots, don't you? All right. Now I don't want to waste money on armor until I get a bow. Which reminds me, I need to go pick up something very important. Yeah. So you want to go here. Like I said, whenever you get to the town, it unlocks a bunch of the DLC content and puts it in your storage, but doesn't tell you. So you want to come here. You want to go to Man Store Items. You want to withdraw. There's something very important you want. It's this thing right here. It looks just like these, but this is the Eternal Fairy Stone. This is the object that's going to let you teleport for free. So you want to give that to yourself, and then you can look through here. So it also gave me some new armors and stuff, but like I said before, not going to use it. Don't want it. Tempting to sell something so I can buy myself a bow, but I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to play the legit way. Alright. That being said, I know a couple places where I can go get some money right off the bat. I'll come right back and just buy a bow because it's not that big of a deal. So, oh yeah. They're not gonna let me buy this, are they?
All right.
Uh,
Through here.
okay, good. I thought they weren't gonna let me buy. I know at some point you can run into that guard. He won't let you buy until you do something to appease him or progress the plot or whatever. Okay, so here's a bag. I just ran up here, large coin pouch, 3.5 grand. So now I have enough money to go get a bow. If you just run up here, you can immediately grab 3 grand. I also got a little bit more money for doing something, but I don't know what. But now I have enough money to buy myself a bow, and I can go out and do some stuff. So let's see here. So buy. I like to get done with this damn buying and selling and actually go play the game a little bit. If it's all the same to you. Change your equipment. There we go. Now I have a range attack, which is super handy. Because, honestly, I use it more than the sword at this point, for the most part. I mean, I like getting into combat and everything like that, but the bow has some killer attacks, including one where you can shoot 3 arrows at a time, and unlike a rapid fire, and even upgrades where you shoot 5 at a time. And you can, and once your mage enchants you, you'll be shooting fire arrows and doing tons of damage. So let me see if I can actually buy that skill. Yeah, the triad shot. No, that's the one that shoots in the wedge. So the triad shot shoots them out, but I'm looking for the one that shoots them in a straight line. So fire shot capable. So I'm not interested in that or that. So I actually won't buy any bow skills right now, but I will buy broadsword with the blade, deployment without distancing user and target line. Okay, so I'm gonna do intimate strike. And do I need anything else? No, I can't afford anything else. Alright. That blink strike. I'm gonna put intimate strike. Do I have any skills for the bow already? Oh, I already have threefold arrow. Okay. Scarlet kisses, shield summons. Okay. Alright. So we're supposed to go talk to the king right now. Fire arrows. That's right. Especially against. I mean, like in this game, there are several different enchantments you can get for weapons. Fire is the one that's good against everything. Like, even Holy is only good against some kinds of monsters. Fire is good against virtually every type of monster. So if you're looking through, I mean, I would say Holy is second best, but Fire is definitely the way to go. Because anything else, you can get ice enchantments and electric enchantments and poison, all this different stuff. But there's always going to be an enemy who's immune to it. I don't think there's a single enemy in the game who's immune to Fire. So it's definitely the way to go in general. Alright. So we kind of hit it. We've hit an hour, and I've made a milestone of making it to Grand Sword. But I would like to do play a little bit more and get a little bit further before calling it quits, because I feel like we did nothing but walk through a freaking path in this part. So what's something we can do real quick that's like an actual thing? Oh, that's weird. I guess the servers are down, which would explain why I've been getting AI companions that are from the computer and not from other players. If you just told me the servers are down, why are you trying to connect to them? Yeah. That's weird. I can't imagine too many people are playing this game, even though the re-release did just come out. I wouldn't say this game was a hit when it came out to begin with, and I know it's got like a cult following. I'm not gonna do that. I know it's got like a cult following. I'm one of the cult members, but you're an AI companion. Fuck you, Jeff. But I wouldn't classify this as like a hit of a game, not a sleeper hit or anything like that. So I can understand why not many people would be playing it. Probably not many people bought the HD re-release. I don't even think there was any advertising for it or anything. I only heard about it because I was reading the Wikipedia for the previous version of the game, and there was an ad on there for the HD re-release, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's a thing that's happening. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if too many people don't play this game, but I'm gonna play it. Oh, yeah, I guess we'll talk to this guy. So this guy's the smith, and his son just died, and he wants you to help him because there's these things called life stones. Basically, the kid had a weak heart, and he died from it eventually. I just discovered this game 2 weeks ago. You're a little late to the game, Jeff, because I think this game came out in 2012. Yeah, but he's gonna want you. This is the game introducing you to the concept of, I think they're called wake stones or life stones or something like that. Wake stones. He's gonna give you a wake shard. You get 3 wake shards. You put them together. You get a wake stone. A wake stone lets you bring something to life. I blame you. What do you want from me? Uh, wake stones are strange. So what you can do with them is they're basically like a restart. Like if you die in the game, you can use a wake stone to come back to life. That's a big waste in the beginning game because you're not going to have many of them. But later on in the game, when you get more, you can use those as basically retries, and you get back right back up where you were before. You come back to life and everything like that. It's all good. If AI companions die in an escort quest, or as part of, or even as part of a quest, like this person was supposed to die, usually you can take a wake stone and you can bring them back to life. You can do this with AIs or even enemies. Like I had one guy. It'll be a quest much later on that we'll do, and I'll bring it up again. I had one guy I had a duel with, and I killed him in the duel, and I was like, well, he wasn't such a bad guy, so I brought him back to life with a wake stone, and it worked, and he came back to life, and he got sent to prison, and he got out, and he was reformed, blah blah blah, all this different stuff. But it's an interesting concept that doesn't get used too often. The situations where you can use the wake stones aren't that frequent, and there are some situations where you think you could use one and you can't. Also, the game kind of like lies to you about their value. For like the first 75% of the game, you're going to think wake stones are these really rare, really valuable things, and then you're going to get to a point in this area called the Everfall where you fight certain enemies that just drop wake stones. They just throw them at you every time you kill one. You can get like I've held like 40 or 50 of them at a time. So, but early on they're kind of a pain to get, so I wouldn't use them to restart the game unless you've made a lot of progress and haven't saved in a really long time. Yeah, but he's going to give you 1, and if you find 2 more, you can bring his son to life. He's the blacksmith. You don't deal with him directly, but all the vendors deal with him. And I'm not sure, because I always bring his kid to life, but I'm not sure, but I think if you don't bring his kid to life, the vendors have inferior weapons and armor to sell you, whereas if you bring him to life, you get the best. Alright, so I don't have any Wakestone shards to give him, unfortunately, right now. I think I think we'll go ahead and wrap up right now, just because there's nothing I could do right now that would only take a little bit of time. Pretty much everything I would have to do at this point would be a full quest that would take at least half an hour. And I'm tired of talking. So we made it to Grand Soren, which is progress. And the next part we'll undergo a full quest. We'll actually make some levels, get a little bit of power, probably trade out a couple people. I don't plan on grinding too much because you don't really need to grind in this game all that much. You can get by just fine. But if I do, I'll probably do it off screen, maybe in a couple parts to make the game run a little bit smoother and progress a little bit further. Because you definitely hit some hard walls. Like you'll be playing and everything will seem just fine. Then they'll send you on a quest, go to a new area. Everything's way too powerful, and it kicks your ass. That happens when you have to chase a griffin down, and later on when you have to fight a sorcerer. But yeah, for right now, I think that'll be it. So we made the Grand Sword, got some armor, changed our class, learned a little bit more about the lore, and yeah, that'll be it. So thank you very much for watching, and this will go up on YouTube. Same YouTube channel, Stone Space Cross. I will be doing this game as nightly as possible. I'll try and do it once a night, at least 4 or 5 times a week. I don't really have I mean, you know, I don't really have a way to put that out yet, but I'll leave the link for the YouTube account on my Twitch account, and of course Twitch will have copies of all the videos and everything like that. So if you missed the first part, you can go back and watch that, or if you just want to watch them again or whatever, just watch them. If every person watches them like 50 times, that'd be great. But Jeff, thank you for tuning in, and good night. Oop. No? Uh-oh. My stream broke again. So let's control escape.